Good afternoon or good evening, radio fans. Big Al here on this Tuesday, July 21st, 2026. And welcome back to another look at the AM and FM radio stations from across the country. And today we will be reissuing the AM and FM radio stations across Nashville, Tennessee as of July 2026. So with that, let's dive right in. This information is courtesy of Wikipedia, radiolocator.com, and Google Maps. Alright, let's get into it. We'll start off on the AM side of the dial with 560, WNSR Brentwood, known as WNSR Sports Radio. This is a sports formatted radio station affiliated with Westwood One Sports. That is, of course, the former CBS Sports Radio. They are the Nashville area affiliate of the Atlanta Braves and the Memphis Grizzlies. And this is the flagship station for the Tennessee State Tigers and Lady Tigers. WNSR signed on the air on September 4th, 1985 as WWCR. It would become WYOR in 1987, and the current WNSR with its sports format in 1998. The station was assigned WTBN in 1981, but that call sign was never officially used on the air. They have a Class D license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting at 1,000 watts during the day and 75 watts at night. Their studios are located at 2631B Nolensville Pike in Nashville. The station's transmitter is also in Nashville, located at the end of Dunning Drive near Hart Street. WNSR is owned by Southern Wabash Communications of Middle Tennessee, Incorporated. Programming is also heard on WRFM 103.9 FM in Drakesboro, Kentucky, which is a Class A license, broadcasting at 1900 watts effective radiated power. And programming is also relayed on translator stations W300DO 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Tennessee, and W285FB 104.9 FM, and W240CR 95.9 FM. Those two translators are licensed to Brentwood. Their website is www.wnsr.com. Next up on 650 is WSM AM Nashville, branded as WSM Radio, featuring country music, Americana, and bluegrass. This is one of the oldest stations in the Music City, signing on the air on October 5th, 1925 on 1060 AM. WSM would move to 880 and then later 890 in 1927 before moving to 650 in 1928. WSM is a Class A clear channel station broadcasting at 50,000 watts full time. Their studios are located at either 2800 Opryland Drive in Nashville or 1 Gaylord Drive, also in Nashville. Their transmitter is located on Concord Road or Tennessee State Route 253 near I-65 in Brentwood, Tennessee. WSM is owned by Opry Entertainment Group, which is a joint venture of Ryman Hospitality Properties, NBC Universal, and Aterios. The station's license is held by WSM AM LLC, and their website is WSMradio.com. 710 was not listed on Wikipedia, but I scraped together enough info on the station, and that is WYJV, Smyrna, Tennessee, featuring a Spanish Christian format. The station signed on the air as WSVT on March 16, 1981. It then became WKXB in 1990, WZRS in 1992. Then the station was purchased by Chicago's Moody Bible Institute, and it became WFCM in 1997. And then Moody would resell the station to another Christian conglomerate, and they would name it WYJV in 2018. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 250 watts during daytime hours. Studios are listed to be at the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, Illinois. It may be outdated. The transmitter is located on Rock Springs Road in Smyrna. WYJV is currently being owned by Iglesia Visionera Jesucristo Virtual Pronto Incorporated. Programming is relayed on translator station W288EF 105.5 FM in Smyrna, Tennessee. And they broadcast 24 hours a day. Now, WYJV itself is a daytime only station and must sign off the air at local sunset on 7:10 a.m. But their translator station at 105.5 allows their programming to broadcast 24 hours a day. Next up on 760 is WENO Nashville, branded as AM 760 and AM 730 The Flame. This station features a conservative talk format, affiliated with Town Hall News and Red Apple Media. This station signed on the air on September 16, 1957 on 1430 AM, which at the time is licensed to Madison, Tennessee. The station would move to 760 AM in Nashville on March 23, 1988. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,000 watts during daytime hours. Programming originates from the headquarters of Disruptor Radio, located at 1032 15th Street Northwest in Washington, D.C. Their mailing address is P.O. Box 207, Washington, D.C. 20005. The station's transmitter is located at the end of Dunning Drive near Hart Street in Nashville, on the same tower used by WNSR. WENO is owned by Disruptor Radio LLC, and programming is simulcast in the Memphis area on KQPN 730 AM in West Memphis, Arkansas, serving the Memphis, Tennessee area. WENO is a daytime only station and must go off the air at sunset on 760 AM. And their website, here's their website, it is newstalk760.com. Next up is 790 WNTC, Ashland City, Tennessee, known as 790 AM and 99.1 FM, The Gospel. This station features an urban gospel format affiliated with American Urban Radio Networks. This station would sign on the air on July 14, 1982, originally as WAJN. They would undergo 6 call sign changes with 6 sets of call letters and become WNTC in 2021. Now, this is the urban gospel format that was heard on 760. WNTC has a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 2,000 watts during the day and 35 watts at night. Studios are located at 2631B Nolensville Pike in Nashville, with transmitting facilities located off of Chapmansboro Road in Ashland City. WNTC is owned by Randolph Bell and licensed by the Mighty 790 Incorporated and is presently being operated by Southern Wabash Communications of Middle Tennessee Incorporated. Programming is relayed on translator station W256ED 99.1 FM in Nashville. Their website is thegospelnashville.com. Next up on 830 is WQZQ, Goodlettsville, Tennessee. This station is known as Sports Talk 830, featuring a sports format. This is the Nashville affiliate of both Fox Sports Radio and the Vegas Stats and Information Network, or VSIN, which is of course founded by legendary sportscaster Brent Musburger. This is also the flagship radio station of the Nashville Sounds. This is the minor league baseball team in Nashville. WQZQ signed on the air as WKVL in 1980. However, the call sign WKVL dates back to 1979. It would become WCTZ in 1988 and the present day WQZQ in 2005. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 2,000 watts during the day and 3 watts at night. Studios are located at 1824 Murfreesboro Pike in Nashville. The transmitter is located off of Jenny Brown Lane, near the interchange of Briley Parkway and Ashland City Highway in Nashville. WQZQ is locally owned by Nashville-based Cromwell Radio Group. The license is held by WYCQ Incorporated. Programming is repeated on sister station WPRT 102.5 FM HD3 in Pegram, Tennessee. And their website is thegamenashville.com. Next up on 880 is WMDB Nashville, known as Activa 880 y 105.1. This station is presently silent. Beforehand, it held a regional Mexican format. This station signed on the air in 1983 and has a Class D license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting at 2,500 watts during the day and 2 watts at night. Studios are located at 209 10th Avenue South in Nashville. While the transmitter has been silent since March 15th, 2025. Ownership is presently searching for a new transmitter site. WMDB is owned by Mike Jambakesh and licensed by TBLC Media No. 2, LLC. Programming would simulcast on WNVL 1240 AM in Nashville, and we'll talk about that station in just a moment. And there is no website for WMDB. Moving on to 900. That's WKDA, Lebanon, Tennessee. No brand for this station. They feature a big band format. First sign-on or license granted by the FCC is listed as December 21st, 1949. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day and 136 watts at night. Studio location is unlisted, possibly located in Lebanon. Their transmitter is in Lebanon, located off of Bluebird Road. WKDA is owned by Wilson County Broadcasting Incorporated, and programming is relayed on translator station W270DM, 101.9 FM, Lebanon, Tennessee, and there is no website for this station. Next on 980 is WYFN, Nashville, known as BBN Radio. This is a conservative religious format affiliated with the Bible Broadcasting Network based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Crazy Cajuns in the house. How you doing, bro? Alright, this station is one of Nashville's oldest, signing on the air on January 7th, 1927 as WSIX AM on 1200 kilohertz, which was licensed at the time to Springfield, Tennessee. The station would move to 1210 in 1928 and then to 1240 in 1941 before landing on 980 the following year, 1942. The station would be purchased by BBN and become WYFN in 1991. I'm yelling too, Cajun. WYFN's city of license would move from Springfield to Nashville officially in 1935. WYFN has a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts. Programming originates from the headquarters of the Bible Broadcasting Network in Charlotte, North Carolina. Their mailing address is P.O. Box 7300, Charlotte, North Carolina 28241-7300. The station's website, or rather the station's transmitter, I'll get to that in a sec. You can ship packages to the Bible Broadcasting Network at 11115 Rushmore Drive, Charlotte, North Carolina 28277. Now I can tell you about the station's transmitter. It's located off of Neely's Bend Road near the Cumberland River in Nashville. WYFN is an owned and operated station of the Bible Broadcasting Network, and their website is bbn1.bbnradio.org/english/stations-list/WYFN-Nashville-TN-980-AM. Yeah, that's a mouthful. Alright, jumping ahead to 1160, that is WCRT Donaldson, Tennessee, which is part of the Bot Radio Network. This is a religious format. This station signed on the air in April of 1971. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 50,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. Programming originates from the headquarters of Bot Radio Network, located at 10550 Barclay Street, Suite 100 in Overland Park, Kansas. This is in the Kansas City area. The transmitter is located off of River Hills Drive near the Cumberland River in Nashville. And they are owned by Bot Radio Network. Programming is relayed on translator station W296DE, 107.1 FM, Donaldson, Tennessee. Next up on 1200 is WFCN Nashville, branded as Moody Radio, featuring a Christian radio format, which signed on the air as WKSN in December 1968, and would undergo 4 call sign changes with 4 sets of call letters before they became WFCN in 2016. They have a Class D license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting at 2,000 watts during daytime hours only. Programming originates from the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, although they have a local chapter in the Nashville area at 615 Potomac Place in Smyrna, Tennessee. The station's transmitter is located in Nashville, off Jenny Brown Lane near the intersection of Briley Parkway and Ashland City Highway. WFCN is owned by Moody Bible Institute, and programming is relayed on translator station W254CK 98.7 FM, Nashville. Their website is moodyradio.org/station/Nashville. WFCN is a daytime-only station and must sign off the air at local sunset on 1200 a.m. However, their translator station allows their programming to broadcast 24 hours a day. And before I forget, WCRT's website is botradionetwork.com/station/1160-AM-Nashville-Tennessee. Alright, next up is 1240 WNVL Nashville. Activa 880 y 105.1. That's Activa 880 and 105.1. This is a regional Mexican station signing on the air on January 5th, 1947 as WKDA. The station would become WNJG in 1998 and the current WNVL in 2005. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,000 watts unlimited. Their studios are located at 209 10th Avenue South in Nashville, with the transmitter located on the 500 block of President Ronald Reagan Way near Peabody Street, also in Nashville. WNVL is owned by Mark Jambakish and licensed to TBLC Media, LLC. Programming would be simulcast on WMDB 880 AM, also licensed to Nashville, but that station is presently silent while they search for a new transmitter site. WNVL's programming is also relayed on translator station W286CY, 105.1 FM, Nashville. On 1300, it's WNQM Nashville, known as Nashville Quality Ministries, featuring a Christian radio format, affiliated with the USA Radio Network. This station signed on the air as WMAK on July 1st, 1948, then would become WLUY in 1982, and the present WNQM in 1984. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 50,000 watts during the day and 5,000 watts at night. The studios and transmitter are located at 1300 WWCR Avenue in Nashville, which is located off of Ashland City Highway near the Cumberland River. Now, the studio address came from the FCC database via radiolocator.com and may be outdated. WNQM is owned by FW Robert Broadcasting, and their website is 1300WNQM.com. 1360 is WNAH Nashville, known as Power Gospel. This is an urban gospel station affiliated with American Urban Radio Networks. This station signed on the air on December 24th, 1949. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,000 watts during the day and 27 watts at night. Their studios are located at 1004 Maplewood Place, The transmitter is at 15 Richardson Avenue, both located in Nashville. WNAH is owned by Hoyt M. Carter Jr., and their website is WNAH.com. Next up on 1380 is WHEW Franklin, Tennessee, known as Bonita 3080. This is a Spanish variety station which signed on the air on October 1st, 1996 as WHEW. The station was assigned the call sign WIZO in 1969, but was never officially used on the air. The WHEW call sign would be deleted from the FCC database, and the station's license was canceled in August of 2012. Following an appeal, the station was fully reinstated in September of 2013. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 2,800 watts during daytime hours. Studios are located at 1811 Carters Creek Pike, with the transmitter located across from the studios at 1814 Carters Creek Pike, both in Franklin, Tennessee. WHEW is owned by SG Communications Incorporated. Their website is bonita1380amradio.com. WHEW is a daytime only station and must sign off the air at local sunset on 1380. As for WNVL, their website is activanetwork.com/Nashville1240. Alright, just a few more stations left on the AM side. Next up is 1430 WYGI, Madison, Tennessee, which is technically a neighborhood on the northeast side of Nashville. This station is known as Hippie Radio 94.5, featuring a classic hits format. This station signed on the air as the original WENO on September 14, 1958, and they would have an identity crisis, undergoing 9 call sign changes with 9 sets of call letters, including WPLN AM from 2002 to 2023, and this was under the ownership of Nashville Public Radio. The station officially became WYGI in 2023. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 15,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. Studios are located at 100 Winter Circle North, Suite 330 in Brentwood. The transmitter is at 314 Mulberry Terrace in Madison, Tennessee. WYGI is presently owned by Kensington Digital Media LLC, and this is the AM simulcast of Hippie Radio WHPY FM 94.5 in Bellevue, Tennessee. Their website is hippieradio945.com. Next on 1450 is WGNS Murfreesboro, known as News Radio WGNS, featuring a news talk format affiliated with Fox News Radio, Premier Networks, Westwood One, and the Middle Tennessee State University Blue Raiders Network. This station signed on the air on December 31st, 1946. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,000 watts unlimited. Studios are located at 306 South Church Street, with the transmitter located near the intersection of South Church Street, or US 231, and Southeast Broad Street, both located in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Anna Rodriguez in the house. How's it going? WGNS is owned by the Rutherford Group Incorporated. Programming is relayed on translator station W263AI 100.5 FM and translator station W270AF 101.9 FM, both licensed to the city of Murfreesboro, and their website is WGNSradio.com. 1470 is WVOL, Berry Hill, Tennessee. This is a Nashville suburb on the south side of the city. They're known as the Mighty 147, featuring an urban oldies format. Signing on the air officially as WSOK in 1951, the station would become WVOL in 1957. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. The studios and transmitter are located at 1320 Brick Church Pike near I-24 and I-65 in Nashville. The Mighty 147 is owned by Heidelberg Broadcasting LLC, and their website is WVOL1470.net. On 1490 is WCOR, Lebanon, Tennessee. Known as Real Country, FM 98.9 AM 1490, WANT, and WCOR. This is a country music station. Signing on the air in November 2005, the station itself was founded in 1949. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,000 watts full time. Studio location is unlisted, possibly located somewhere in Lebanon, Tennessee. Their mailing address is P.O. Box 399, Lebanon, Tennessee 37088. The station's transmitter is in Lebanon, off of Spring Hill Circle near Trousdale Ferry Pike or Highway 141. WCOR is owned by Fine Bar Broadcasting Company and licensed to Bay Point Broadcasting. Their website is WANTFM.com. Final station on the AM side is 1510 WLAC Nashville. Talk Radio 98.3 and 1510. This is a news talk format affiliated with Fox News Radio, NBC News Radio, Compass Media Networks, Premier Networks, the Weather Channel, and they also have news and weather updates from Fox affiliate WZTV Channel 17. And this is the flagship station for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Predominantly football and men's basketball is heard on WLAC. And this is one of Nashville's oldest stations, signing on the air on November 24th, 1926, originally on 1330. The station would move to 1490 in 1928 and then to 1470 in 1930 before ending up on 1510 in 1941. They have a Class A license with the FCC, and they are a clear channel station which permits them to broadcast full-time at 50,000 watts. Studios are located at 55 Music Square West in Nashville, with the transmitter located off of Old Hickory Boulevard at Dickinson Pike in Nashville. WLAC is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed by IHM Licenses LLC. Programming repeats on WSIX FM 97.9 HD2 in Nashville, and is also relayed on translator station W252CM 98.3 FM Nashville. Their website is WLAC.iHeart.com. So that's the AM side of the dial. Now let's jump over to the FM, beginning with the traditional non-commercial band. On 88.1 channel 201 is WFSK FM Nashville, known as Jazzy 88. featuring smooth and contemporary jazz music, affiliated with the American Urban Radio Networks. This station signed on the air at Fisk University in 1973 as WRIN and later became WFSK-FM in 1983. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 700 watts. The studios and transmitter are both located on the campus of Fisk University. The studios are at 1017th Avenue North, and the transmitter is behind Kravitz Hall on 17th Avenue North, both located in Nashville. Judging by the call letters, WFSK-FM is owned by Fisk University, and their website is wfskfm.org. Right next door on 88.3 Channel 202 is WMTS-FM Murfreesboro. 88.3 WMTS, featuring a college radio format. The station signed on the air on television originally in March of 1992 on cable channel 38 on MTSU cable, and then it would later move to channel 8. The radio station signed on officially in the summer of 1995 as WACF, and the call letters were switched to WMTS-FM in the fall of 1995. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 680 watts. The studios are located on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University at the Scott Porchetta College of Media and Entertainment, located in the John Bragg Media and Entertainment Building on East Main Street in Murfreesboro. The station's mailing address is MTSU Box 36, Murfreesboro, Tennessee 37132. The transmitter is also located in Murfreesboro at 658 North Rutherford Boulevard. WMTS-FM is owned by Middle Tennessee State University, and their website is WMTS.org. Right next door to them on 88.5 Channel 203 is WVCP Gallatin, broadcasting in high definition. They're known as WVCP-FM 88.5. On the main FM analog signal and on HD1 is college radio, while on HD2 is country music known as Fresh Country. WVCP signed on the air on January 4th, 1979. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,000 watts. Studios are located at the Reims Administration Building on the campus of Volunteer State Community College at 1480 Nashville Pike, Suite 146 in Gallatin. The transmitter is on Moore Link Road in Cottontown, Tennessee. WVCP is owned by Volunteer State Community College, and their website is wvcp.net. Next up on 88.7 Channel 204 is WAYM Spring Hill, Tennessee, known as 88.7 Way FM, featuring a contemporary Christian music format. First sign-on of the station is unlisted. They have a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts. Programming originates from 1095 West McEwen Drive in Franklin, Tennessee. The transmitter is located off of Old Hickory Boulevard, which is across from the transmitter of Nashville's PBS station WNPT Channel 8 and the transmitter is located in Forest Hills, Tennessee, which is south of Nashville. Owner is the Way FM network, and their website is wayfm.com. Programming is relayed on translator station W257BX 99.3 FM in Columbia, Tennessee. 89.1 channel 206 is WECV Nashville. This is a part of the Bot Radio Network featuring a religious format affiliated with Bot Radio Network. The station signed on the air on May 23, 1967. They have a Class C3 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 22,000 watts. Programming originates from the headquarters of Bot Radio Network at 10550 Barclay Street, Suite 100 in Overland Park, Kansas, which is again in the Kansas City area. The station's transmitter is in Nashville at the end of Dunning Drive near Hart Street. WECV is an owned and operated station of the Bot Radio Network, and its license is held by Community Broadcasting Incorporated. WECV's programming is also heard on WNRZ 91.5 FM in Dixon, Tennessee, which operates a Class C3 license at 8,000 watts effective radiated power. Programming is also relayed on translator stations W230AD 93.9 FM Gallatin, Tennessee, and W258AD 99.5 FM Clarksville, Tennessee. Next up on 89.5 channel 208 is WMOT Murfreesboro, known as Roots Radio. On the main FM analog signal and on HD1 is Americana, and jazz music plays on HD2. WMOT first signed on the air on August 9, 1969. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at the maximum 100,000 watts. Studios are located on the Middle Tennessee State campus at the Scott Borchetta College of Media and Entertainment on East Main Street in Murfreesboro. And they also have another studio at Riverside Revival located at 1600 Riverside Drive in Nashville. The station's mailing address is MTSU Box 3, Murfreesboro, Tennessee 37132. The transmitter is located off of Underwood Road in Gladeville, Tennessee. WMOT is also owned by Middle Tennessee State University. Their website is www.wmot.org. Programming is relayed on translator stations W222BZ 92.3 FM Blumtown, Tennessee, W230BX 93.9 FM Columbia, Tennessee, W234CD 94.7 Hollywood, Tennessee, and W237DY 95.3 FM Chestnut Ridge, Tennessee. Okay, 89.9 channel 210 is translator station W210CD out of Hendersonville, Tennessee, which relays programming heard on 88.7 WAYM in Spring Hill, Tennessee. So we'll move on to the next full power station, which is 90.3 channel 212. And that's WPLN FM Nashville, broadcasting in high definition. This is the flagship property of Nashville Public Radio, featuring a news talk format on the FM analog signal and on HD1, classical music on HD2, and the BBC World Service, which is heard full-time on HD3. WPLN FM signed on the air on December 17, 1962. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 80,000 watts. Studios are located at 630 Mainstream Drive in downtown Nashville. The transmitter is located off of Johnson Chapel Road West in Brentwood, Tennessee. WPLN FM, as mentioned, is owned by Nashville Public Radio, and their website is www.wpln.org. Programming is simulcast on WTML 91.5 FM, Tullahoma, Oklahoma, which is a Class A signal broadcasting at 1,550 watts, and is also heard on WHRS 91.7 FM in Cookeville, Tennessee. That's a Class A signal broadcasting at 500 watts. 91.1 Channel 216 is WNXP, Nashville, branded as 91.1. This is an adult album alternative format primarily. Also, eclectic and local artists are featured on the station. WNXP signed on the air in 1971 as WRVU. This was the student-run radio station of locally based Vanderbilt University. Nashville Public Radio, owners of WPLN, would purchase 91.1 and turn it into a classical music station known as WFCL. That was in 2011. And then in 2020, it would officially become WNXP. They have a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 10,000 watts. Studios are located at 630 Mainstream Drive in downtown Nashville. The transmitter is at 5700 Knob Road, which is behind the studios and on the transmitter tower of Nashville's NBC station WSMV TV Channel 4, and that transmitter is located in Nashville. WNXP is owned by Nashville Public Radio, and their website is WNXP.org. And then wrapping up the traditional non-commercial band is 91.7 Channel 219, which is WFCM FM, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, known as Moody Radio, featuring a religious format affiliated with Moody Radio. The first sign-on at WFCM FM, or in its case, the license being granted by the Federal Communications Commission, was March 6, 2007. Hi Lucy, how are you? WFCM FM has a Class C3 license, broadcasting at 2,500 watts horizontal, 2,480 watts vertical. Programming originates from the headquarters of the Moody Bible Institute at 820 North LaSalle Drive in Chicago. This address was taken from the FCC database via radiolocator.com and may be outdated. The transmitter is located off of Gene Underwood Road in Eagleville, Tennessee. WFCM FM is owned by the Moody Bible Institute based in Chicago, Illinois. Their website is moodyradio.org/station/Nashville. Programming is relayed on translator station W254CK, 98.7 FM, Nashville. Okay, jumping on over to the commercial band, and we will start with 92.1 Channel 221. Broadcasting in high definition, that is WQQK, Goodlettsville, Tennessee. Broadcasting in high definition. They're known as 92Q, the big station. I'm doing great too, Lucy. Glad to see you're doing good as well. On the main FM analog signal and on HD1 is Urban Adult Contemporary with no additional subchannels. Affiliations are with Compass Media Networks. WQQK signed on officially on October 16, 1970 as WHVT. The call letters were changed to WBYQ sometime in the 1970s. Then it became WMAK-FM and later the current WQQK in 1984. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 3,500 watts. Their studios are located at 10 Music Circle East in Nashville. The transmitter is located off of Campbell Road in Goodlettsville. WQQK, or the Big Station 92Q, is owned by Cumulus Media Incorporated and licensed by Cumulus Licensing LLC. Their website is 92qnashville.com. Next up on 92.9 Channel 225 is WJXA Nashville, also known as Mix 92.9, and this is one of Nashville's highest rated stations. They feature an adult contemporary format throughout much of the year, and they switch to Christmas music during the holidays. This station signed on the air in 1976 as WZEZ and would become WJXA in 1994. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at the full 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 504 Rosedale Avenue in Nashville. The transmitter is also located in Nashville off of Old Charlotte Pike. WJXA is owned by Midwest Communications and licensed to Midwest Communications Incorporated. Their website is mix929.com. Next up on 93.7 Channel 229 is WFRW Kingston Springs, known as Family Radio. Hear the word. This is a Christian radio format affiliated with Family Radio. This station signed on the air as WYYB in 1992. Then it would become WFFI in 2003. And then later WFRW in 2024. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,100 watts. Studios are located at the Family Radio headquarters at 4057 Rural Plains Circle, Suite 300B in Franklin. The transmitter is on Old Pond Creek Road in Pegram, Tennessee. This is an owned and operated station of Family Radio and is licensed by Family Stations Incorporated. Their website is familyradio.org. 94.1 Channel 231 is WAIV Smyrna, part of Air One, featuring a contemporary worship music format affiliated with Air One. This station signed on the air in 1991 as WYPE. The very next year it became WRLG, and then it would become WFFH under Salem ownership as 94 FM The Fish in 2003, and then later WAIV in 2024 as Salem Communications sold the station to EMF. They have a Class A license with the FCC and they broadcast at 3,200 watts. Studios are located at the headquarters of the K-Love Network at 2000 Reams Fleming Boulevard in nearby Franklin, Tennessee. And I forgot to write down the station's transmitter, but that's okay. The station is owned by the Educational Media Foundation, or EMF, and their website is air1.com. Next up is 94.5 Channel 233, WHPY-FM, Bellevue, Tennessee. Known as Hippie Radio 94.5. They feature a classic hits format, playing songs from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. This station signed on the air as WPCT in October of 1974 on 94.3 in Jackson, Tennessee. The station would become WIST in 1983, WFGZ in 1994, and then WHPY-FM in 2012. The station moved from Jackson to Nashville, officially in 1995 on 94.5 FM. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 6,000 watts. Studios are located at 100 Winter Circle North, Suite 330 in Brentwood, while the station's transmitter is off of McCrory Lane near I-40 in Nashville. WHPY-FM, or Hippie Radio 94.5, is owned by Kensington Digital Media. Programming is simulcast on WYGI 1430 AM in the Nashville neighborhood of Madison, Tennessee. Oh, and I did write down the transmitter site for WAIV. It's located off of Cane Ridge Road in Nashville. Alright, next up is 95.5 Channel 238, WSM-FM, Nashville. Known as 95.5 WSM-FM, featuring a country music format affiliated with Westwood One. WSM-FM would sign on the air on November 1st, 1962 as WLWM, and then would become WSM-FM in 1968. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at the maximum 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 10 Music Circle East. The transmitter is at 5700 Knob Road, located behind the studios of NBC affiliate WSMV TV Channel 4, and on the transmitter site of WSMV TV Channel 4, and that transmitter is located in Nashville. This is the same tower being used by Nashville Public Radio's WNXP 91.1. WSM-FM is owned by Cumulus Media and licensed by Cumulus Licensing, LLC. Their website is www.955wsm.com. Next up is 96.3 Channel 242, WCJK, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. 96.3 Jack FM, playing what we want. This is an adult hits format affiliated with the Jack FM network. This station signed on the air as WMTS-FM in 1963. On August 10th, 1963 to be exact. They would undergo 6 call sign changes with 5 sets of call letters, including WMAK from 2000 to 2004. That is when they would add the FM suffix. And then the station would become officially WCJK in 2005. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 39,000 watts. The studios are located at 504 Rosedale Avenue in Nashville, and the transmitter is located off of Trail Hollow Lane near I-24 in nearby Whites Creek. WCJK, or 96.3 Jack FM, is owned by Midwest Communications Incorporated, and their website is 963jackfm.com. KLove.com. Coming up next is 97.1 Channel 246, broadcasting in high definition, and that is WLVU, Belmead, Tennessee. This is the Nashville affiliate of the KLove Radio Network. Well, it's one of two, because there's another station coming up later. On the FM analog signal and on HD1 is Christian adult contemporary music. HD2 is Air 1, which is the sister network to KLove. Air 1 features a contemporary worship music format, and this is the simulcast of sister station WAIV. And on HD3 is KLove 90s, which features Christian hits from the 1990s. WLVU signed on the air in 2000 as WRQQ, and this call sign dates back a little bit to 1999. EMF would purchase WRQQ from Cumulus, and it would become WLVU in 2012. They have a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 44,370 watts. Studios are located at the KLove headquarters at 2000 Reams Fleming Boulevard in nearby Franklin, Tennessee, while the transmitter is located at 3820 Trail Hollow Lane near I-24 in Whites Creek. This is the same transmitter WCJK uses. WLVU is owned by the Educational Media Foundation, or EMF. Meanwhile, translator stations W210CD 89.9 FM Hendersonville and W292ED 106.3 FM Franklin, Tennessee relays programming heard on WLVU and on WLVU HD1. Translator station W223BV 92.5 FM Brentwood, Tennessee relays Air 1 heard on HD2, and translator station W262CN 100.3 FM Hendersonville relays KLove 90s heard on WLVU HD3. Their website is www.klove.com. Next up is 97.9 Channel 250, broadcasting in high definition, WSIX-FM, Nashville, known as the Big 98. On the main FM analog signal and on HD1 is country music. On HD2 is the News Talk simulcast of Talk Radio 98.3 and 1510 WLAC. And on HD3 is the Big Legend, which plays classic country. This station signed on the air in 1948 from the 638 Tire Company in Springfield, Tennessee, which was the original home of WSIX AM 980. WSIX-FM has a Class C0 license with the FCC, broadcasting at the full 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 55 Music Square West in Nashville, with transmitter located off of Old Hickory Boulevard in Forest Hills. And I think that's near the Channel 8 transmitter. WSIX-FM, the Big 98, is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed by IHM Licenses LLC. Translator station W252CM 98.3 FM Nashville relays the news talk format heard on WLAC 1510 AM and relayed on WSIX FM HD2. Alright. and each of the subchannels have their own website. The main website is the big98.iheart.com. The news talk format on HD2 is WLAC.iheart.com. And the classic country format on HD3 is the Big Legend 983.iheart.com. Moving on to 98.9 channel 255. WANT Lebanon, Tennessee. Real Country FM 98.9. It is listed as a full service station which plays primarily country music, but also features some specialty programs. The station is affiliated with Westwood One's Real Country Network and is also an affiliate station of the Tennessee Titans. WANT signed on the air on October 1st, 1993. The station did use WJFM as their call sign during the station's construction permit, but officially signed on as WANT. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts. Studio location is unlisted, possibly located in Lebanon, Tennessee. Their mailing address is P.O. Box 399, Lebanon, Tennessee 37088. The transmitter is also in Lebanon off of Spring Hill Circle near Trousdale Ferry Pike or Highway 141, also in Lebanon. WANT is owned by Bay Point Broadcasting and their website is WANTFM.com. Up next is 99.7 channel 259, which is WWTN Hendersonville. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, featuring a news talk format affiliated with ABC News Radio and Westwood One. This station signed on the air as WMSR-FM on June 20th, 1962. It would become WQLZ in 1990 and then the present WWTN in 1991. They have a Class C0 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 10 Music Circle East in Nashville. Transmitter is located off of Bray Haynes Road in Murfreesboro. Super Talk 99.7 WWTN is owned by Cumulus Media and licensed by Cumulus Licensing. Their website is 997wtn.com. Next up is 100.1 channel 261, which is WRLT Franklin, known as Lightning 100, featuring an adult album alternative format, which signed on the air in December of 1986. So this station is going on 40 years of broadcasting. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at only 200 watts. Their studios are located at 1310 Clinton Street, number 215 in Nashville, with the transmitter located off of Johnson Chapel Road West in Brentwood. WRLT Lightning 100 is locally owned by Tuned In Broadcasting Incorporated. Their website is lightning100.com. Up next is 101.1 channel 266, and this is the only Nashville area radio station licensed in the state of Kentucky, and that is WUBT, Russellville, Kentucky, broadcasting in high definition. This is 101.1 The Beat, Nashville's only hip-hop and R&B. On the main FM analog signal and on HD1 is Mainstream Urban. On HD2 is the new TikTok radio, which plays top 40 CHR music. Of course, TikTok radio was just launched by iHeartMedia a few months ago. WUBT signed on the air on February 27, 1965 as WRUS FM in Russellville, Kentucky on 92.1 FM. The station would undergo 5 call sign changes with 5 sets of call letters and would become WUBT with its present hip-hop format in 2001. The station moved from 92.1 in Russellville to 101.1 FM, also in Russellville, in 1974, and officially moved into the Nashville metro area in 1994. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 47,000 watts. Studios are located at 55 Music Square West in Nashville, while the transmitter is located off of Jerrigan Road near I-65 in Cross Plains, Tennessee. 101.1 The Beat is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed by IHM Licenses LLC. Their website is 1011thebeat.iheart.com. Alright, next up is 102.5, right? Yes, up next is 102.5, channel 273, broadcasting in high definition. And that's WPRT-FM, Pegram, Tennessee, known as 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, ESPN Nashville. On the main FM analog signal and on HD1 is sports. On HD2 is an urban adult contemporary station known as 102.1 The Ville. On HD3 is the simulcast of Way FM with a contemporary Christian format, which is heard on WAYM. And on HD4 is Totally Hits Nashville, which plays classic hits. WPRT-FM is the Nashville affiliate of ESPN Radio and is also the flagship station of the Nashville Predators. That's the local NHL team in Nashville. They also broadcast Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders football on this station. This station signed on the air on September 10th, 1984 as WKDN-FM, located in Dixon, Tennessee. The station would become WQZQ-FM in 1987, then WVNS-FM in 2005, and later WPRT-FM, the call sign they presently use. They would change to that call sign in 2008. They did use the call letters WTNQ during their construction permit between 1974 and 1984, but WTNQ was never used on the air. WPRT-FM has a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at the maximum 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 1824 Murfreesboro Pike in Nashville, with the transmitter located off of Cunningham Road in Cumberland Furnace, Tennessee. WPRT-FM, or The Game, is locally owned by Nashville-based Cromwell Radio Group. Licensee is WYCQ Incorporated. Programming is repeated on sister station WBUZ 102.9 FM HD2 Laverne, Tennessee, and that's the station we'll be talking about next. Also, translator station W292ED 106.3 FM HD2, or rather W292ED 106.3 FM Franklin, relays the programming heard on WBUZ HD2 via WPRT FM and HD1. Translator stations W270BK 101.9 FM, and W271 AB 102.1 FM, both of which are licensed in Nashville, relays WPRT HD2. Meanwhile, translator station W227DC 93.3 FM Nashville relays the classic hits format of Totally Hits Nashville, heard on WPRT HD4. Their website is thegamenashville.com. Alright, so WPRT, as I said, is a sister station to our next station, which is 102.9 channel 275, broadcasting in high definition, and that is WBUZ, Laverne, Tennessee. They're known as 1029 The Buzz, Nashville's rock station. On the main FM analog signal and on HD1 is a mix of active rock and alternative rock. HD2 is the sports simulcast of WPRT FM, which is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. On 102.9 HD3 is another sports format known as 94.9 The Fan. And on HD4 is Totally Hits Nashville, which plays classic hits. WBUZ is affiliated with Compass Media Networks. This station signed on the air on May 1st, 1962 as WTCV. They would undergo 4 call sign changes with 4 sets of call letters, including WYCQ, which they used from 1980 to 1995. 102.9 would become WBUZ in 2001. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 1824 Murfreesboro Pike in Nashville. Their transmitter is located off of Gene Underwood Road in Eagleville. 1029 The Buzz is owned by Nashville-based Cromwell Radio Group. Meanwhile, translator stations W248BM 97.5 FM, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and W292ED 106.3 FM, Franklin, Tennessee, relays the sports format heard on WBUZ HD2 via WPRT FM and HD1. Translator station W235BW 94.9 FM Nashville relays the sports format on WBUZ HD3. While translator stations W227DC 93.3 FM Nashville and W236CI 95.1 FM Murfreesboro relays Totally Hits Nashville, heard on WBUZ HD4. Okay, and there are websites for all 3 stations. I'm going to read them to you off of Wikipedia. The main website is 1029thebuzz.com. The HD4 is known as TotallyHitsNashville.com. And the HD3 is thegamenashville.com/949thefan. Alright. We only have 6 stations left. So let's finish this up. Next up is 103.3 channel 277, and that's WKDF Nashville. 103.3 Country, featuring a country music format. Affiliations with Compass Media Networks and Westwood One. WKDF signed on the air as WNFO FM on April 18, 1962. They would drop the FM suffix from the WNFO call letters in 1965. Then they became WKDA FM in 1967 and the present-day WKDF in 1976. They have a Class C0 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 10 Music Circle East in Nashville. Transmitter is at 6402A Johnson Chapel Road West in Brentwood, Tennessee. WKDF 1033 Country is owned by Cumulus Media and licensed by Radio License Holdings CBC LLC. Their website is www.1033country.com. And this is a sister station to our next station, which is 104.5, channel 283, broadcasting in high definition, and that is WGFX Gallatin. 104.5 The Zone. On the main FM analog signal and on HD1 is sports. On HD2 is The Hill, featuring a freeform format. And on HD3 is Nashville Songwriter Radio, which plays country music. WGFX is affiliated full-time with Fox Sports Radio. And they also have the 1 minute hourly updates from Westwood One Sports, as well as occasional broadcasts from that network. But this station is a full-time Fox Sports Radio affiliate. WGFX is the flagship station of the Tennessee Titans, and this is also the Nashville area affiliate for Tennessee Volunteers football and men's basketball. Alright, this station signed on the air on December 1st, 1960 as WFMG. It would later become WHIN FM in 1971, and then WWKX in 1978, before becoming the current WGFX in 1987. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 58,000 watts. Studios are located at 10 Music Circle East, while the transmitter is located off of Blevins Road near I-24, both located in Nashville. 104.5 The Zone is owned by Cumulus Media and licensed by Radio License Holdings CBC LLC. Their website is 1045thezone.com. Next up is 104.9 channel 285, and that's WLVN Woodbury, Tennessee. Also a part of the K-Love radio network, featuring a Christian adult contemporary format. This station would sign on the air in 1991 as WLMM, and this would be the third station known as The Fish in the Nashville area. This one would be known as WBOZ in 1994. And then EMF purchased WBOZ from Salem and renamed it WLVN in 2024. They have a Class A license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting at 6,000 watts. Programming originates from the headquarters of K-Love in nearby Franklin, Tennessee at 2000 Reams Fleming Boulevard. The transmitter is located off of Porterfield Road in Readyville, Tennessee. And this station is owned by the Educational Media Foundation, or EMF. Now this station covers basically the far southern and eastern portions of the Nashville metro area, while WLVU 97.1 is the official K-Love station of record for the core of Metro Nashville. Next is 105.9 channel 290, broadcasting in high definition, and that is WNRQ Nashville. 105.9 The Rock. This is a classic rock station heard on FM analog and on HD1. Meanwhile, on HD2 is an all-news format from the Black Information Network. WNRQ signed on the air on September 10th, 1953 as WSOK-FM. The station would undergo 6 call sign changes with 5 sets of call letters, including WLAC-FM, which they would use initially from 1964 to 1978, and once more from 1983 to 1998. That was the year they would become WNRQ. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Their studios are located at 55 Music Square West in Nashville. Their transmitter is located off of Johnson Chapel Road West in Brentwood, Tennessee. WNRQ, or 105.9 The Rock, is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed by IHM Licenses, LLC. Translator station W248BQ 97.5 FM Nashville relays the Black Information Network, heard on WNRQ HD2. As for your websites, the main website is 1059therock.iheart.com. And for the Black Information Network on HD2, it's nashville.binnews.com. Alright. We're on the final page and the final 2 stations. 106.7 Channel 294 is WNFN Franklin, Tennessee. Previously, this station was assigned to Millersville. They're known as Y'all 106.7, featuring a classic country music format, affiliated with Westwood One. This station signed on the air on September 22nd, 1995 as WNPL, and then would become WNFN in 2004. Around that time, they would launch a sports format on this station. WNFN has a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 15,000 watts. Studios are located at 504 Rosedale Avenue in Nashville, with the transmitter located off of Old Hickory Boulevard in Forest Hills, Tennessee. Y'all 106.7 is owned by Midwest Communications and licensed by Midwest Communications Incorporated. Their website is y'all1067.com. And then the final station in the market is 107.5 Channel 298, broadcasting in high definition, and that is WRVW, Lebanon, Tennessee. Known as 107.5 The River, Nashville's #1 hit music station. On 107.5 FM analog and 107.5 HD1 is Top 40 CHR. On 107.5 HD2 is Pop Top 20, which also is a Top 40 CHR station, primarily playing the top 20 pop songs in the country. WRVW has affiliations with Premier Networks. They signed on the air on August 31st, 1962 as WCOR-FM on 107.3. The station would become WUSU in 1980, WYHY in 1982, and WRVW as The River in 1996. The station would officially move to 107.5 in Lebanon in 1982. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 46,000 watts. Studios are located at 55 Music Square West in Nashville. The transmitter is at 3820 Trail Hollow Lane near I-24 in Whites Creek, Tennessee. 107.5 The River is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed by IHM Licenses, LLC. Their website is 1075theriver.iheart.com. Alright, that's going to do it with the July 2026 reissue of the AM and FM radio stations in the Music City of Nashville. Alright, in our next installment of AM and FM radio stations from across the country, we're going to take about a 2.5 hour drive west down Interstate 40, as we'll be doing a market I have never done in this series, and that is the Memphis radio market. That'll be coming on in a couple of days, so make sure you join me for that. For now, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and get notified every time I go live. Special shout out to everyone that showed up. My boy Joey up in Bakersfield, what's poppin'? Lucy Warren's World 3115. Then we have Anna Rodriguez, that's Joey's wife. And my homie Crazy Cajun 1703 down in Louisiana. Shouts out to all of y'all for joining me today. Alright, Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and happy listening. Peace out.